welcome to another Field-Proof tutorial. Today we'll be talking about how to add inspections and how to find those inspections from within the software after they've been added. So initially here, I'm just going to go ahead and add an inspection. I'm on the Inspection Navigator. You can find this by clicking on the inspection/template link in the menu. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add an inspection. In here, the first step is just to give my inspection a title. Usually this title is something that will make it easy for you to find the inspection from within the software at a later date. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll just say test facility Q1 2018. All right, and that'll give me a good way of being able to identify this specific inspection. Again, this doesn't have to be unique. It's just a good way to be able to find it later when you need it. So I'm going to click the facility. Now, for those of you that are pro subscribers, when you click on this, your list of all of your facilities will drop down here, but I'm going to use this facility that we created in our previous facilities tutorial. I'm going to select a date. I just made this for the 28th. And I'm going to select a time. These are by half-hour increments. We'll say by 12:30 is when we'll do that inspection. The estimated duration. So this section is really just for your internal use. I'm going to say this one will take 2 hours. You can put anything you'd like here, though. For the task assignment, we're going to choose one of our users. If you did not see the tutorial about how to add users, please go back and take a look at that. I'm going to choose test user. And the notes is anything that you would want the person performing the inspection to know about this specific inspection. So we'll say, please pay attention to tank number 1. And then we'll hit save and proceed. I'll be brought to the screen where now we have a few options. One option is that we can import sections and questions from a pre-existing template that we've created. Again, if you didn't see the template tutorial, please go back and take a look at that. This will allow us to add sections from one of our templates. Or you can create new sections and subsequent questions for that section right here. So we're going to create a new section and we'll say tank 1 and we'll click on add. Okay, and now we can add questions related to this tank. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add, and then I'm going to add an item. So we'll say, we'll just say check piping. And the section in the code, if you didn't see the template video, the section and the code are just ways for you to relate this to a specific section or code in your federal or state guidelines. So we're just going to make one up. We'll say section 12.2 and code 131.4. And the link section is just an area where you can link to an external reference. So as an example, if your state has an online guide for these sections and codes or documentation, you could link to that external document if you want the inspector to know specifically what it is that the state requires. In this case, I'm not going to do that, and I'll add notes, and we'll say check piping for corrosion. Anything you'd like, you can add in this note section. I'll click on save, and now that question is available for me to go back and reference in our inspection. Now another way that you can add things is this import from template. I'll click on that, and I had already created a template in our previous tutorial for a dispenser. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on import. Now if you had more than one template here, you can select any one of them. I'm going to click on import, and you can see that it goes ahead and it imports those specific sections and questions that I had created in that previous tutorial. I'm going to click on complete task. And now my inspection is ready to go. For the inspector, it'll show up here on his dashboard under scheduled inspections because it is scheduled. And that is how we would get into our overview for the actual inspection itself. Now, we're not going to do this part now. We'll do that in the next tutorial where we talk about how to utilize the inspection software to perform an inspection. But you can click on through here the Edit Inspection button where it'll bring you right back to the same screen where you can edit and change any aspects of your inspection that you want. Another way of getting to your active inspections is if you click on this active inspection button in the inspection navigator. If you click on that, you can see that any of your currently scheduled active inspections are available for you here. You can click on details, and of course you'll be taken right back to the actual inspection. Another way of doing that is by clicking on delete, and that'll of course delete the inspection if you made a mistake and you'd like to recreate it, whatever have you. Another way of getting to this is if you go under facilities and you click on manage, you find your facility that your inspection's on, you click on inspection history. You'll be led to a page where you can see the entire inspection history for that facility, and each one will include the status of the inspection. So you can see that this one is obviously active, and we can click through to see that inspection or perform that inspection from here. We can also click on the duplicate button. We'll talk about that a little bit more in depth in another tutorial, but this is how you would be able to preserve that inspection's history into the next inspection. That would include the image history. So we'll talk a lot more about that when we talk about in another tutorial about the image-to-image or picture-to-picture feature that we have in the software. And of course you can delete the inspection from here as well. You're able to filter them by name and date and see as many as you'd like. It defaults to 10, but of course you can choose how many inspections you'd like to view in one page here. This has been another tutorial by Fuel Proof. Thank you so very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.